I talk, actually. So it's normal. It's amazing. Are you ready?
What are you doing?
My morning motivation. Can you say boom, baby, boom?
Boom, baby, boom.
Boom, baby, boom!
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
And rise and
And rise and
shine. It's
shine.
your morning marijuana motivation time. I'm your host with the mostest, Marquis State, and this is my spiritual mentor, Terry Prince.
And that's what he calls me. I don't call myself that. I am no one's spiritual mentor, honey. But you know what, though? I let him say what he wants to say, but I don't call myself that. I am just a student in this universe as well.
And like I said, I get to choose my own spiritual mentor. Thanks for that, because you and the other one was a business mentor, and you're the only one alive.
Yes.
And I'm loving this morning motivation that you gave me. I love my life.
Isn't life amazing?
And I get it directly from the source. So every time I've ever said your quotes, like we were just talking about, worrying, not changing the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
But you said that to me when I was like, or to the group when I was like 22 or 24 years old.
And you know what? And someone probably said it to me.
Sure.
Because, there's nothing new under the sun.
Sure.
And everything that's being said has been said in some way, shape, or form before, but we all just say it in our own way. It's like pancakes. You know what? The same pancakes that were made the first day are the same pancakes being made today, just a different
seasoning
way.
Well, but
just a different plate.
but there's been two messages only this last 2 days. The other one was inspect what you expect.
Right.
And that came from Rich Abajian before he died when I was working over there at Finley Toyota.
Rich Abajian, yes.
Yeah, you know this man.
Yes, I know Rich Abajian.
How do you know Rich?
I knew Rich when I worked at LVAC. We had a
handball court.
He had a handball membership at LVAC on Sahara, and yes, they would come in and play.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's how he met Cliff Finley.
Cliff Finley used to play.
Yeah, dude, that's how they all met.
They all played handball, and they love that.
Yeah,
handball.
so I mean, it's so is it the odds? Is he get the job because he was already doing the UNLV cornerback position coach, or that he was the handball guy, or that Cliff was already obsessed with UNLV sports because he was a UNLV basketball player?
Right.
So I mean, what's the odds and the fate that he plays handball with the guy that is a UNLV player and becomes the largest booster for UNLV's history? That's a fact. Finley's the largest booster for it's all over the stadiums. And to work with these people when they have Tiger Woods rolling through, Paul Pierce, all the basketball players, all these legends, and keeping that kind of energy around.
Right.
And I went and almost lived that life.
Right.
And I did for a little bit, and it almost made me happy. But part of the transition, and one of the bold things that I remember telling you before I even left traveling the world, remember when we went to the Starbucks in Green Valley, and I was scared shitless, and I was like, I don't know what's going to fucking happen, and you got to be like that kind of speech. Now, fast forward, and now I've traveled the world 3 fucking different times, fresh off the boat, and I'm on some, it has changed me.
Right.
The same energy that they were talking about when I was like, I feel lack of some money or something. I was like, no, my resources come from my network.
Right.
My network is my net worth.
Right.
So we talk about phrases that have stuck out for me, right? Motion creates emotion would be something Rich Abajian would say. And these things resonate on me, and I spit them out fucking on a daily, and they become part of my lexicon too. But it's not like it's a joke. I mean, I really got to test it around the world.
Oh, absolutely.
And then, like, we're talking about the fates of the gods putting out these little steps or these lily pads or these bricks that weren't there before.
Right.
And then I tested out, like, I have no business doing it because there's no money, you don't know where it's going to come from. And it always comes from the weirdest of places.
Right.
Like, I was just telling my friend from Italy, he was like, here's 2,000 euros.
Well, that's how you can't test it. You can't know it without a test.
Right.
You have, you have to test it. I always say that I remember very clearly. I was 5 years old. And I remember this moment as if it were happening right now, because this moment has happened to me only 2 times in this powerful way, but I'm not going into details about it, and maybe 3 times, a third time in another slightly way. But I knew it was revealed to me very, very clearly that love is the answer, and that love, it was going to be what carried me through my life experience. And it came to me in a very powerful, powerful way when I was 5 years old. And I remember this. And so, but I said to myself, I knew at 5 that love was the answer. But what I didn't know at 5 was that I was going to spend the rest of my life proving that to myself. Because it's one thing to know the answer, but it's another to put it into action and to see it at work. It's like when I was in high school, they would have like the math books. And the math books always had the answer in the back of the book. Do you remember that textbook? If you went all the way to the back, all the answers were there. And I was like, why would they put the answers there? Well, they put the answers there. And so, I'm thinking I'm smart. I'm writing down the answers. However, but then when it came time to take the test, I didn't know how to work out the problem to get to an answer. Just because you have the answer doesn't mean that you're not going to have to work out the problems to get to that understanding. And that's what I got from love. Yeah, I knew that love was the answer, but what I didn't know was that I was going to have to work through all the challenges of life to know that that was in fact and indeed a truth.
Somebody asked me to interview somebody, and I get to interview a love teacher, right? Like they wanted me to interview more people, and I said, so many really cool characters in my life, right? When the blessings of blessings is some people have the insight, like, man, you really did go around the world, and you really did come back, and you must have met a lot of weird people, right? Little different people, different cultures. And I guess I take it for granted because I've met these people before, most of them, and I'm just revisiting them in my mind, in my realm. But the realm is true that you are going to meet some real cool characters.
Every person, every individual you meet.
I mean, for real, everybody's a book.
Everyone has a story.
Yeah, but our story goes deeper, and it's like, as I didn't expect to become a motivational speaker, and we've spoke about speaking together, speaking engagements. You actually got on the stage, and when you were on about it, mostly your music, but you were doing speeches too. So it's like, for this journey to be 20 years later, and then it's like, man, I mean, you're not more gambling and shaking the dice than me traveling the world with no money. I'm dead dog serious, just like always somehow making it work. And, the fates of the gods coming out of nowhere. And it wasn't always money related. It could have been food. Someone would say, come here, come try this. And I was really hungry that day, or maybe it was the girl that got away. It doesn't matter. It was all part of this journey of everything that now my friend said, and Mike killed the money motivation. He was like, we don't take losses, we take lessons. So it's just like, that's the only L's we're taking here is lessons. And it was just like, oh fuck, like the amount of confidence that I have to do whatever I want to put my mind to, is ridiculous. And it wasn't coming from an ego state. It came from an experience state.
Right.
And that it was so fact based. Like even I
forget. And it came from feeling the fear and doing it anyway.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Right. Yeah. It's like Caroline Myss, an author, says, if you're waiting for the gods of guarantee to show up, that it's not going to happen.
The gods of guarantee.
If you're waiting for the gods of guarantee to show up, it's not going to happen. Most people are waiting for the gods of guarantee to show up, and they're not coming. And so you have to step out on faith, and you just have to be, because the fact that you have the desire is the only evidence that one needs to know that this is meant to be a experience in my life.
An interactive game.
Yes.
Full on, I'm testing it because I want to know. It's like, most people might see the TV and perceive it. They might get the magazine like I was perceiving it, National Geographic and this Great Wall of China business, but it's a whole nother motherfucker to be climbing this thing
Mm-hmm.
and how steep it is and the other people that are around me. And I really started a process. I was just like, holy fucking shit, man. I can put my mind to anything and go anywhere.
Oh yes,
I was
absolutely.
starting to become really boundless
Mm-hmm.
and fearless and
Mm-hmm.
intrepid and brave
Mm-hmm.
and what's next, and let the journey
Mm-hmm.
guide me, and not fight the process
Mm-hmm.
and stay out of as much trouble as possible, but enjoy myself as much as possible the
Mm-hmm.
whole way,
Mm-hmm.
and then do it 3 fucking
Mm-hmm.
times. I'm just sitting here going like, you know what? This is a whole new version of me. This
Our
is a version of
reality,
me.
our reality is created by our experience. The more we experience something, the more real it becomes. The more we experience it, the more real it becomes. And our experiences create our reality, and our reality becomes our life experience. They're both one and the same, but we have to have the courage to step out into it. It's like you were saying, like about, you know, speaking and things of that nature. You know, for me, I don't consider myself to be a per se motivational speaker in that thought process, because what I realize that I don't get on a stage and say something that and have a conversation that I don't have with the lady at the corner grocery store or at the coffee house. Every interaction that I have is one of love, inspiration, positivity, greatness, and the amazingness that exists in all of us. Because I'm not going to let a moment go by or an opportunity go by that I am in the presence of another and having an encounter with another, and not use that moment to, when I leave that individual, they are higher in their vibration than they were when I arrived, because that is the purpose of our life, to lift one another up, to inspire, to encourage one another. And what would it say of me if I have the ability to do that and I miss an opportunity and don't?
Hmm. You're a bunch of candles lighters for sure. I'm more of this. I'm sitting here and I just can't believe that the journey has so much valid facts, right? They were saying something about facts are your friends, right?
Facts are your
Yeah,
friends.
it was the saying, facts are your friends. And what had happened was, is like, people use AI, they'll use statistics, they'll use all the data in the world, and then they'll do something that's kind of unexplainable. We were talking about this realm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there was a name when we came up with it, but that, oh no, you did. You said from the invisible to the visible,
Yeah, birth
this
is
realm,
birth is from the
invisible to
invisible
visible.
to the visible, and death is from the visible to the invisible.
Right,
Both the same experience,
right.
except different ends of the
And we were
coin.
also talking about consciousness when we're thinking about friends, or they come into our world, or maybe we're sending signals out to them, or that they live in our world still alive, even
Yeah,
if they might have died
they're
five
only in our,
years ago.
yeah, our
We didn't know
experiences
till
with
we
one another.
found out,
Yeah,
and
everyone's in our
then it's a
consciousness.
tragedy. Then it's
Right,
really painful, and
right,
only till then
right,
we were in love with them, their soul, their
right,
being, and their
right,
story, and the
right,
way that they made us feel.
right.
Got it. Yeah. So I'm sitting here going like, this stuff isn't to be manipulated. It's a full on experience. The
Mm-hmm.
human experience is like experience the loss, but also that zen of them being near the
Mhm.
spirit realm. We're
Mhm.
talking almost
Mhm.
near that you
Mhm.
feel your grandma, I
Mhm.
feel my great aunt.
Mhm.
We still feel these people
Mhm.
in our lives. They
Mhm.
talk through us. We
Mhm.
picked up their jive.
Uh-huh.
We picked up their lingo. We picked up their vibe. Right? Like
What we hold in our consciousness is not gone away. What we hold in our consciousness is not lost. What we hold in our consciousness is not absent. And we have the ability to hold in our consciousness anything that we desire. So I hold my grandmother in her memory and her name, and I speak her name in there, and I laugh about her, I talk about her. I hold her in my consciousness. So the experience that I have is that she is present because that's where everything exists for me. It's in my consciousness. Nothing is existing out here. It's all in here for all of us. That's where I hold you. That's where you hold me. We hold each other within our consciousness. And then when this thing from the visible to the invisible comes that we call death, when that occurs, we drop them out of our consciousness and we say they've died. No, we've dropped them out of our consciousness because life can never know death any more than light could ever know darkness. Life is always, and everything is energy. Energy never dies. It can only be recreated and change form. It can never, ever die. And all is energy. All is energy. And if everything is energy and it cannot die, it can only be recreated and change forms, then tell me, where is this thing called death?
if anything, I feel like it's almost like some mutant powers. It's the only thing I can give it that level of consciousness. If X Men, Avenger, or something like this level, because we always give it a sixth sense or powers that we think are beyond us, or maybe special human beings have them, right? They always classify the mutants
But
as
you know what
different.
though? And we call it that. But you know the funny thing is, it could also be elementary. Because hey, with infinity,
You know,
who knows how many levels there are of it. Hey, this might be kindergarten.
I'm really feeling the powers of it though. It's like not something that is like unoccurring, and I'm not saying my horn or your horn or whoever we inspire or have inspired. This isn't that. It's
No,
like
right.
it working out in our favor, like in the favor that we still got long term friendships, we still got health, and we still got this plethora of experiences, and knowing that it can only maximize. That's what I've been saying with you this whole night, is sitting here and like that everything gets to be true. All the websites get to go launch, hit all the buttons and push like every lever forward on this aircraft, and everything gets to fly. All
The
the wildest
universe,
things that I never even think were even freaking possible are now the things that I've done on a regular.
with
I now
love,
say
all things are possible.
I'm possible. So remember, because impossible is spelled I'm
Uh
possible,
huh.
so I actually have an I'm possible
I'm
shirt.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm Um, I think it's important for everyone to remember and to remind themselves. Mark, why is just the tip of my head showing? Thank you. Thank you, cameraman Mark. Um, what I always, what I want everyone to always remember, and when I leave from the visible to the invisible, what I want to be known and left behind, if there's, is that love has not sent us forth into expression to this universe, to this life, and forgotten about us. Because for that to be true would mean that love was unloving. And love can only be love. And love would never forget about its creation any more than a loving parent forgets about its child. And the only challenge is that we, in our hurried life, in our struggles and strife, we forget to acknowledge love and all that it is doing for us each moment, each day, from the beginning to the end, and forever and ever and ever. Love has our back.
So that's your leap. That's your faith over sight. That's that belief that, or not your, but I mean, I see it multiple times. But um, maybe it was like that. There's people that are still plugged in. Maybe if you want to even say to like the Matrix, they don't want radical honesty, right? They don't want to be open-minded enough to accept any kind of new ideas. If it isn't through their screen of filters or suspicions or mathematics or whatever the process is,
That's where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm talking about the stress testing things, right? Giving life the experience of it and actually putting some metal to the mouth and all that good stuff, to put some money where your mouth is or whatever you want, whatever phrase it is, but like actually kind of dare to test some of this stuff out.
Right.
So I mean, it could be hyperbole because everybody else, I would always thought that they would do the infomercial and I got my 6-pack abs and I need you to make 6 payments of $6.99, and you too can be as happy or as fun or live like me, kind of infomercial pitch.
Right.
When it really ended up being me being frisbee and being healthy and actually loving my mental state for once in a long time, and how healthy that my mental capacities can be, and then even how more powerful it is when I am healthy and clear and almost clairvoyant on the things that I want, with the things that I'm manifesting, and I write down my goals.
Magic happens in the land of clarity.
And where there were no answers, where there were none, paths started to appear. I made that morning motivation yesterday to like create your path. Where there is no path, make a path. And that Jack Frost, like, if the path less chosen by. But this isn't like a plea for somebody to be a Hare Krishna or find up any kind of sign up. There isn't actually a sign up. You kind of sign up yourself. Inside yourself, you sign up yourself and be like, okay, self, I am worthy. That's always a pitch for most people. They don't even feel worthy enough to do it. And then like, I am human and I deserve, and I'm loved, and I am deserving of the love that we're speaking of. And it might make me cry, it might make me emotional, and there's levels to it. Some people may feel unlovable, right? Like if it can't be cured, maybe it's too far gone or rejected, or maybe the people can't see them making it past what they're going through, right? And I mean, it's been darkest through some of my days too, so I can only sit here grateful out in this end, but there's been a lot of question marks beforehand.
In the darkness, if you walk into a dark room, what do?
Turn on light.
You turn on the light. You turn on your light so you can find your way.
Sure.
When the darkness, the doubt, when that which is not true comes into our consciousness, when that which is not true comes into my consciousness, because it does, I have only one job. My job is to tell it the truth. When I'm in a dark room, I turn on the light. The light is the truth. The darkness is the lie. When the darkness that we're experiencing in our life, those things, that is not the truth. That is the lie. Our job is to tell ourselves the truth that this is not who I am. This is not real. This is a lie. This is temporary. This is, and we tell ourselves the truth. And when we tell ourselves the truth, just like when we turn on the light, the darkness soon disappears.
So Ray Diallo was like this other amazing human being on the planet, world's 100 richest human beings, right? And he set out a success plan for people and for his team, and he actually open sourced it for everyone, and they tracked themselves with AI and making decisions and groups and their ability to make is this a right decision, and not just my instincts or my feelings or emotions. I'm basing it off of more data now. And what really happens is the first thing that they have to do is they have to get real. They have to be radically honest with all of each other and themselves.
Yes.
So it's kind of funny that the whole thing goes right to this kind of root thing, and this is coming from some really high up people that are leaking this stuff. That's like, you got to be able to have people that aren't willing to let your echo chamber continue. Maybe say no to you, offend you.
Mhm.
You want to watch out for people that are too nice and always agree with you. The manipulators of the groups, the people that will do that just to make sure that they fawning is a typical response from people. But genuine is what everybody wants. In the world of AI or anything else,
Mhm.
they want genuine.
Yes.
Genuine coping mechanisms. The reason I'm saying this is because I've actually gotten them just by hanging around and listening and manifesting and writing down my dreams and being clear about my goals and being clear about what I really want out of my life, being bold enough to say it and be emboldened enough to expect it.
Right.
And we talk about the audacity.
Right. The audacity.
The audacity.
The audacity.
That I deserve this. That I also went into the world, and the first lesson was, why not? Why not me? Why not my life? Why watch it on TV? Why not live it?
Why not? Hey, why not all of us?
And there it is. And the more we sat on this couch tonight, the more it kept flowing in that direction. That I was like, it's already done. And remember, I said something to you, like, well, what kind of percentage do you think? And I got in all kind of business mode with you, and you're like, I don't operate that way.
No.
And there's going to be
because
people that will try to operate that way.
Because and that
calculate the blessing.
Because that is working in the three-dimensional world. I try my best to work in the spiritual realm, because to dwell in the spiritual realm and let spirit do the work, because at best all I'm going to do is fuck it up.
Okay.
And that's what we do on the third dimension.
Sure.
We fuck things up.
Sure.
Because we think we know what we're doing,
okay.
And we can't even make a grain of sand.
Sure.
I'm still waiting for one man somewhere on this earth to make one grain of sand or a blade of grass. They can't do it.
Okay.
Because we're not doing anything. The universe is doing it all.
Right.
And our job is to align ourselves with that. Because when we align ourselves, like I told you a minute ago, everything that I need right now in this moment, my heart is beating, my ears are hearing, my eyes are seeing. If I eat something, it starts to digest. I've got oxygen to breathe. Everything that I need is being provided, and there's nothing that I'm having to do to get it.
Right.
Because there is something greater than I that knows what it is doing, and my job is to align myself with it. And that's what's called going with the flow, because the flow is life. And when we align ourselves with the very essence of life, then we get out of the way and we row our boats gently down the stream. Because merrily, this life that we think we're in charge of is but a dream.
And then that would be my last point, was Abraham Hicks. It was a female named Abraham. But Abraham Hicks, when she was talking about the vibration,
yes,
being right for it to be congruent. So
right.
I mean, I'm talking frequencies
right.
or vibe.
Right.
I'm talking about just maybe having the right attitude and aptitude ready for some possibilities to be there.
You can't feel bad and attract good.
Right.
If you want to attract good, you must feel good. You must, and when I say feel, do what makes you feel good, whether it's listening to music from when you were in high school or eating something or going to do what makes you feel good, because when you feel good, your experiences match that. You cannot have good experiences feeling bad. And that's why I tell people, feeling bad for yourself or for anyone else does no one a bit of good. Don't ever feel bad or sorry for me, because that does my life no good. I want you to feel good for me. Feel good for me.
I love you.
Yes, I love you too. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day.
Love
Stay
on
in the
shirts.
magic. Stay in the magic of life and know that you are loved.
That's it. Peace and love.
Peace.
Bye. Ciao, bello. Beijos. And then I say,
How long were we on
Chigatan.
there
That's
for?
30 minutes. Not easy.
That was